Euro 2024 has officially come and gone, and what a great tournament it was. From Georgia's incredible performance at their first ever major tournament to Spain's crazy unbeaten run to win the championship and everything in between, this competition was filled with great moments from start to finish. Over the course of 51 games, we got to witness some insane goals, some really funny own goals, and some truly spectacular moments that we'll never forget. Today we're looking back at each one of these games to see which ones stood out among the rest, which ones were pretty solid to watch, and which ones won't stand the test of time. We have quite a few games to go through, so some might get less attention than others, namely the ones near the bottom of this list, but don't worry, they will all get their ranking. It's going to be a nostalgic ride, so join me today as I rank every match at Euro 2024. Before we get into the ranking, let's quickly go over how this tier list works. In the F tier, we have the truly awful matches that were simply boring to watch and a huge waste of 90 minutes. In the D tier, we have the games that were slightly better but still pretty bad and very easily forgettable. In the C tier, where the majority of the matches will find themselves, we have the good games that were solid and entertaining but nothing too crazy. In the B tier, we have the matches that were honestly great to watch, which had quite a few memorable and exciting moments along the way. The A tier is made up for the games that were truly amazing with some crazy football being played until the very end and which were a blast to watch. And finally, the S tier is reserved for the matches that were truly super and were without a doubt the best games at this tournament. Alright, with that out of the way, let's start ranking. The F tier is made up of two matches, with those games being the Albania and Spain matchup in Group B and the England and Slovenia game in Group C. In the Albania and Spain game, I genuinely forgot this game even happened. Spain had already qualified for the knockout round, so they really didn't even try that hard. Albania didn't do a whole lot, and apart from a Ferran Torres goal in the 13th minute, this game really didn't have too much to talk about. In the England and Slovenia game, it was England's third group game of the tournament, and they should have gotten a convincing win, but they couldn't even manage that. Slovenia defended for basically the entire game, and I don't even remember them having a chance on attack. It was a one-sided match that didn't even produce a goal, so this game has to go into the F tier. With those two matches out of the way, we have our first rankings of this tier list, and the F tier is over and done with. Moving on to the D tier, the first four matches in this rank are England's 1-0 win over Serbia, Denmark and Serbia's lackluster 0-0 draw, Denmark and England's stale 1-1 draw, and Ukraine and Belgium's uneventful 0-0 draw. In the Serbia and England game, it was Bellingham's goal in the 13th minute that was the highlight of this match. Serbia had some decent chances in the second half, but they couldn't really capitalize and didn't make much of an impact. It was a lackluster start to the tournament for England, but at least they got the win, so for that reason it goes into the D tier. When it comes to the Denmark and England game, it was yet another poor performance from the English side. Harry Kane's tap-in goal was boring, but Morten Hjulmand's blast from outside the box was pretty insane. Lots of shots off target and missed chances made this game not that fun to watch. When it comes to the Denmark versus Serbia game, it was the second goalless draw at this tournament, and it left me wanting more. The only goal of this match was ruled out by VAR in the second half, and that was pretty disappointing. It was a poor performance in what should have been a great match as a neutral fan from two decent sides, and was pretty lackluster. And finally, for the Ukraine and Belgium game, it was a winner-go-home scenario for both sides, which amounted to literally nothing. An elimination game in which Ukraine didn't look promising at all, even though they had to put everything on the line. Belgium could have and should have won this game, and that left me pretty frustrated as I knew they could have done more on the pitch. The next three matches make up the rest of the D tier, with those games being Switzerland's 2-0 win over Italy in the round of 16, France's 1-0 win over Belgium also in the round of 16, and France's 5-3 win on penalties over Portugal in the quarterfinals. For Switzerland's 2-0 win over Italy, it was a great result and a great storyline, don't get me wrong, but the match itself was so boring to watch. Freuler and Vargas' goals were great, but they missed 12 of their shots on target. This match was also genuinely the worst Italy performance I've ever witnessed, so I can't really rank it much higher. In the France and Belgium matchup, what should have been a great match was just 90 minutes of possession play. France missed 17 of their total shots, which is just absurd, and that really shows just how poor their attacking performance was at this tournament. The match was decided by an incredibly unlucky bounce that led to an own goal, and that wasn't how this game should have ended. In my opinion, it was a major disappointment between two very good sides. For the Portugal and France matchup that went to penalties, it was yet another match between two heavyweights that didn't really do enough to grasp my attention. Ronaldo was invisible yet again in a match that he should have performed pretty well in, and it really sums up his performance at this tournament. Everyone knew this match was going to penalties after 90 minutes, and even that penalty shootout wasn't very intense. Going back to our tier list, the D tier is now complete with 7 matches being added to the ranking. Now we move on to the C tier, which is where the majority of the matches at this tournament will find themselves in, so bear with me. The first 4 matches in the C tier are Italy's 2-1 win over Albania, Poland's 2-1 loss to the Netherlands, Slovenia and Denmark's 1-1 draw, and Slovakia's historic 1-0 win over Belgium. In the Italy versus Albania game, we saw a very solid performance from the Albanian side in the first half with an Italian masterclass in the second half. We got to witness the fastest goal in Euro history after just 23 seconds, which was pretty remarkable. It was Italy's best performance at this tournament despite the small margin of victory, and even though they only put up 5 shots on target out of 17, it was a pretty good match from them. In the Poland versus Netherlands match, it was a very solid effort from the Polish side in a match where they didn't even have Robert Lewandowski. Poland going up first was a big shock, and a very comedic bounce for Gakpo's goal was pretty fitting for this match. Wout Weghorst's super sub story was football heritage, and overall it was a pretty enjoyable game given the circumstances. For the Slovenia vs Denmark match, as far as 1-1 draws go, this one was pretty good. Denmark dominated the whole game and we were all waiting for a second goal from them that never came. It was also great to see Christian Eriksen on the score sheet once again, and he played pretty well in this match. Erik Janja's goal saved Slovenia and got them a crucial point, so that was also a good result for them, but not a great match overall. Another decent match was the Belgium and Slovakia matchup, and it was incredibly fun watching Belgium miss so many good chances. Slovakia played a very solid defensive game and kept trying for more after their first goal. Romelu Lukaku failed to perform on the big stage yet again, which was pretty frustrating to watch in this match as he had quite a few good chances. We really got to see how weak this Belgium side was at this tournament in their opening match, and for that reason this match only goes into the C tier. The next 4 games in the C tier are France's 1-0 win over Austria, Portugal's 2-1 win over Czechia, Germany's 2-0 win over Hungary, and Scotland's 1-1 draw with Switzerland. In the Austria vs France game, it was a pretty quiet match from Austria, but one that was filled with chances for France. It was a physical match between both sides that saw 29 fouls in total, which was pretty insane. Austria's style of play of this tournament was a breath of fresh air, and even in one of their weaker matches at this tournament, they still played pretty well. In the Portugal vs Czechia match, it was a solid match where Czechia stood their ground against one of the tournament favorites. It was a great goal from Lukas Provo to give Czechia the lead, only for them to concede an own goal just 7 minutes later. The final minutes of this match were quite intense, and Conte Sao's winner in stoppage time was truly a moment of magic. It was a good game for Portugal, but the first of many poor performances from Cristiano Ronaldo at this tournament. The Germany vs Hungary match was a bit more of the same, as it was a German masterclass against a very disappointing Hungarian side. Germany missed a ton of chances with only 7 of their 19 shots hitting the target. It was a great game from Musiala and Kroos, who made the game much more interesting, but overall this match wasn't anything special. And with the Scotland vs Switzerland matchup, it was easily Scotland's best game of this tournament, but they couldn't capitalize on any of their big chances. Shaqiri scored a beautiful goal at the Euros, which was bound to happen, and what a goal it was. Both sides missed plenty of chances with only 7 shots on target out of 23 total shots for both sides, but it was still an entertaining match from a neutral perspective. Continuing in the C tier, the next 4 games were Slovenia's 1-1 draw with Serbia, Spain's 1-0 win over Italy, Slovakia's 2-1 loss to Ukraine, and a goalless draw between the Netherlands and France. In the Slovenia and Serbia game, it was another dominant performance from Serbia that saw them miss most of their big chances. Slovenia held their ground once again and converted their goal when their best chance came to them, but apart from that, they didn't really do a whole lot in this match. The winning goal by Luka Jovic with the final kick of the ball was exactly what we needed from this match to make it more entertaining. Overall, it was a good game to watch despite the lack of goals, but again, nothing too crazy. And then we have the Spain vs Italy match, which was one of the most anticipated matches of this tournament, and even though it was quite disappointing, it was still a good game overall. This was a big game for Spain as they really proved why they were the best team in the tournament in this match, as they completely dominated Italy from start to finish. Italy only stayed in this match because of Donnarumma, and the rest of the team was pretty lackluster. The Calafiori own goal in the 55th minute was pretty funny and sums up Italy's run in this tournament. When it comes to the Slovakia vs Ukraine match, Ukraine finally showed us what they were made of in this game and made a huge statement with their victory. A dominant first half from Slovakia only saw them put up 1 goal when they should have had quite a few more in the first half. Second half goals from Shaparenko and Yaremchuk sealed the win in a tight affair between 2 good sides. I wasn't expecting much from this game, but it definitely impressed me, so it's going into the C tier. And for the Netherlands vs France matchup, as far as 0-0 draws go, this one was pretty good. One of the most hyped matches of the group stage, but didn't really deliver as we didn't see that many goals or that many chances. Xavi Simon's offside goal was incredibly controversial, and to this day, I still think it should have counted. We're slowly making our way through the C tier, with the next 4 games being Georgia's 1-1 draw with Czechia, Belgium's 2-0 win over Romania, Switzerland's 1-1 draw with Germany, and Scotland's 1-0 loss to Hungary. Looking at the Georgia vs Czechia match, it was a very dominant performance by the Czechs in this game. Georgia's penalty kick before halftime really set the tone for a great second half that didn't disappoint. It was an absolute masterclass from the Georgian goalkeeper to keep his side in this match, and even though he played really well, Georgia couldn't capitalize on any of their chances. In terms of the Belgium and Romania matchup, it was the first and only match of this tournament where Belgium really played well. Yuri Tielemans really set the tone for this match with the first shot of the game coming in the 2nd minute and the first shot being a goal as well. Romania put in a solid effort to come back in this game, but it simply wasn't their day. It was plenty of action from start to finish, but too many missed chances for both sides really tainted this match for me. When it comes to the Switzerland and Germany matchup, Switzerland opened the scoring in this match and that was truly electric. Germany really missed 15 of their 18 shots in this match and somehow didn't lose the game. It was Fulkrug's header in stoppage time that really saved the day for Germany and saved this match from a lower ranking. And for the Scotland and Hungary game, in a match where both sides were facing elimination, there was a little bit of drama but nothing too crazy. Hungary played a very solid match which Scotland had no response for, and they got their goal in the final minute. They truly left it late and we got to see a 90+10 winner in stoppage time, which was pretty insane, but apart from that, nothing too crazy really happened. With yet another 4 games in the C tier, we have Croatia's 1-1 draw with Italy, France's 1-1 draw with Poland, Slovakia's 1-1 draw with Romania, and Czechia's 2-1 loss to Turkey. In the Croatia and Italy match, it was a game that was very close and it really could have gone either way. Croatia really showed their class in this game and they truly deserved the win apart from the very end when they all crumbled. It was a spectacular goal with the last kick of the game to save Italy and break Croatian hearts around the stadium, and that really made it exciting. The match certainly had drama and exciting football at some points, but nothing too crazy apart from the last kick. In the France and Poland game, it was another strong performance from France with nothing to really show for. It was kind of funny that both goals came from penalty kicks, and that wasn't really expected. Poland put up a solid performance in a match that meant nothing for them as they were already eliminated at this point. And Mbappe finally got his first goal at the Euros, and even though it came from the the penalty spot, it was still pretty impressive nonetheless. In terms of the Slovakia and Romania game, it was a match that truly could have gone either way and it went right down to the wire. It was a great first half that saw chances for both sides, but a relatively slow second half kinda tarnished it for me. It was great not knowing which team would score next, and even though it was a tie, it was still very entertaining. A true deadlock between two evenly matched sides, and that's why we got a 1-1 draw. And in the Czechia versus Turkey game, it's a scoreline that doesn't truly reflect how close this match was. Both sides had plenty of chances to score, but neither of them could really hit the target until the very end. A stoppage time goal from Tosun really saved Turkey, but it eliminated Czechia in the final minutes. It was the final game of the group stages and it was pretty solid, but nothing too crazy. And finally, to finish off the C tier, we have Germany's 2-0 win over Denmark, England's 2-1 win over Slovakia in extra time, Portugal's 3-0 win on penalties over Slovenia, and England's 5-3 win on penalties versus Switzerland. The Germany versus Denmark match was pretty decent in a match that Germany dominated from start to finish. An electric start to the second half saw Denmark have a goal disallowed and Germany scoring a penalty right after that. Even though Germany played well, it was a pretty underwhelming performance from Denmark, which sums up this tournament for them. The England versus Slovakia match wasn't much better, as Slovakia played very well and came ever so close to pulling off a truly great upset. Jude Bellingham came out of nowhere with a wonder goal to save the day for England, which was pretty exciting to watch. It was one of England's better performances at this tournament despite the scoreline, and they actually played pretty okay. When it comes to the Portugal versus Slovenia game, it was an absolutely brutal performance from Portugal for 120 minutes. Slovenia did all they could to contain their opponent, but they never really made an impact in this match. The penalty shootout definitely bumps this game's rating up, as it was actually pretty entertaining to watch. It was also an absolute masterclass from Diogo Costa to give his team the win, and that was pretty exciting. And in terms of the England versus Switzerland game, it was a pretty slow match until the final few minutes when both goals were scored. Switzerland were much less impressive in this match than the game versus Italy, and I really don't know what happened to this team. Manuel Akanji's penalty miss changed the whole course of the shootout, and that's what gave England the win. England somehow managed to get away with another undeserving win, and that was kind of their thing at this tournament. With the C tier over and done with, we now have 24 more matches in the tier list, and it's beginning to take form quite nicely. Moving on to the B tier, the first 4 matches of this rank are Switzerland's exciting 3-1 win over Hungary, Spain's 3-0 thrashing of Croatia, Romania's brilliant 3-0 win over Ukraine, and Croatia's emphatic 2-2 draw with Albania. In the Hungary versus Switzerland game, it was a great performance from Switzerland to kick off their campaign at Euro 2024. Apart from their one goal, it was a very poor performance from a very hyped up Hungary side that did not live up to expectation. The last 20 minutes of this match really could have gone either way until Mbol's winner in stoppage time, which was very exciting. It was a great game to watch as a neutral fan and one that I remember pretty well. The Spain versus Croatia game was absolutely electric, and it was an absolute masterclass from the Spanish side to start their tournament. Lamine Yamal put up the first of many great performances in this tournament and really made a name for himself in this game. Croatia had some decent chances, but Unai Simon was crucial in that for Spain, and no one could really finish for the Croatian side. It was a much closer match than the scoreline suggests, but this game was pretty great from start to finish. The Romania versus Ukraine game was absolutely electric, and it was one of the most unexpected results of this tournament that produced a truly great game. Ukraine dominated possession for most of the match, but Romania made the most of their few chances when they came to them. Stanciu scored one of the best goals of the tournament, while Rasiu had Mudryk in his pocket all game, and that was really exciting to see. Overall, it was a great game and really enjoyable to watch from start to finish. And in terms of the Croatia versus Albania game, it was one of the most intriguing matches of the group stages. Albania looked almost invincible until the 70th minute when Croatia finally broke them down. Croatia played really well and deserved to win this match by a comfortable margin in the second half, but that's what makes this draw even more intriguing. Albania's last-minute equalizer was truly spectacular, and I was not expecting that one bit. The next 4 matches in the B tier are Austria's exciting 3-1 win over Poland, Portugal's 3-0 dismantling of Turkey, Georgia's historic 2-0 win over Portugal, and the Netherlands with a convincing 3-0 win over Romania. In the Poland-Austria match, it was an absolute masterclass from Austria against a very weak Polish side. Austria played a really fun to watch style of football at the whole tournament, but particularly in this game as well. Poland had no response for them all match and weren't able to hold on to their lead, which is why they lost by 2 goals. It was great attacking football from start to finish and very exciting to watch as a neutral fan. The Turkey-Portugal match was also pretty intense, and it was a match that was dominated by Portugal, but they still only hit the target 3 times out of 12 total shots. One of the funniest own goals you'll ever see came from Turkey, and it was really truly incredible to watch. Seeing Ronaldo pass the ball instead of scoring was unbelievable to witness, and it makes it even funnier considering he ended the tournament with 0 goals. It was a really poor performance from Turkey in a match where they really didn't look like themselves. The Georgia-Portugal game was also very interesting, and it was easily the biggest upset of the tournament in truly dramatic fashion. Portugal could have and should have easily won this match, but they simply couldn't hit the target on 22 total shots. Georgia played brilliantly from start to finish, and they didn't sit back after their first goal, which was very impressive to witness. And for the Romania versus Netherlands game, it was a game where Romania came out very strong to start this match, but the Dutch side were just far too strong for them. The Netherlands played well but missed a bunch of good chances, and the score could have been 5-0 by the end of the game. There was some huge controversy near the end of the game that denied Romania a great chance to score, but even with that, they still would have lost the match. It was a true David versus Goliath matchup, but it just simply wasn't meant to be for the underdogs in this game. The final 4 matches in the B tier are Turkey's thrilling 2-1 win over Austria, the Netherlands with a great 2-1 win over Turkey, Spain's dominant 2-1 win over France, and England's controversial 2-1 win over the Netherlands. In the Austria and Turkey game, it was Turkey who came out very strong in this match, which was so sort of unexpected. Austria missed a bunch of big chances in this match and they only have themselves to blame for losing this match. It was a very entertaining game from start to finish from a neutral perspective, and I was really hoping the game would go to extra time, but it did not. One of the best saves I've ever witnessed in the last minute to keep Turkey alive truly was the icing on the cake in this match. When it comes to the Netherlands versus Turkey game, Turkey really played well in the first half and genuinely had a chance to go up by a couple of goals by halftime. It was a competitive but frustrating match where only 8 of 26 total shots hit the target, and that kind of ruined it for me. The Netherlands showed their class in the second half and played some great attacking football, and they truly did deserve to win this match. It was a great game from start to finish, and that's why it goes into the B tier. And for the Spain versus France matchup, it was easily the best match that France played at this tournament, and they finally looked like the team that we all know them to be. It was an absolute wonder goal from Lamine Yamal that left me speechless, and that was truly the moment of the match for me as well. It would have been ranked higher, but the second half was quite lackluster, and I don't really remember what happened, so it's only going into the B tier for now. And for the Netherlands versus England game, it was the only game that England genuinely deserved to win at this tournament in my opinion. It was also a rare moment of brilliance from Southgate by bringing on Cole Palmer and Ollie Watkins in the second half. Apart from a great Xavi Simons goal, the Dutch side got outclassed throughout this match by England, and that was truly surprising. It was an Ollie Watkins goal in stoppage time that was a great way to cap off a great game, and that's why it goes into the B tier. With those 12 games slotting nicely into the B tier, we're almost done with this ranking and we only have 2 tiers left to go. The A tier is where we got to see some truly amazing games, with those 4 matches being Germany's 5-1 thrashing of Scotland, Turkey's impressive 3-1 win over Georgia, Austria's monumental 3-2 win over the Netherlands, and Spain's historic 2-1 win over England in the final. When it comes to the Germany and Scotland game, it was an absolutely electric way for Germany to start this tournament. It was a completely one-sided game, but Germany dominated Scotland and it was great to watch as a fan. Goals from Florian Wirtz and Jamal Musiala were a sign of great things to come for this game. Obviously, Scotland's only goal in this match came from an own goal in truly comedic fashion, which was the theme of this tournament. It was a brilliant display of true attacking football from start to finish, and I absolutely loved every second of it. The Turkey versus Georgia game was also fantastic, and it was one of my favorite games in the group stages that saw Georgia put up a solid fight in their first ever tournament debut match. Turkey were dominant from start to finish, and honestly they could have and should have probably done better on a few chances. It was an absolute masterclass goal from Arda Güler, which was thrilling to see, and I still remember it to this day. This match truly set the tone for Group F for the rest of the group stages, and it was super fun to watch as a neutral fan. The Netherlands versus Austria game was also incredible, and it was easily the best match of Group D, which was thrilling from start to finish. The first half was a little slow, but the second half saw 4 goals and a true display of attacking football. Austria outclassed the Dutch side and truly displayed their worth in this game, and they definitely got a few more fans after this match. A truly unforgettable game between 2 very fun sides to watch, that's why it goes into the A tier. And with the Spain and England matchup, it was the final game of Euro 2024 that could have and probably should have produced a bit more, but it was still a thrilling match from start to finish. Despite a slow first half that was stuck in a deadlock, the second half truly delivered, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Nico Williams really set the tone at the beginning of the second half, and Cole Palmer gave England a shred of hope, but it was Mikel Oyarzabal that finished the game off in style. It was a great game to finish off a great tournament in truly dramatic fashion, and that's why it goes into the A tier. With those 4 matches finding themselves near the top of this tier list, we're left with just the S tier to complete our ranking. The S tier is reserved for not 1 but 2 superb matches, with those being Spain's thrilling 4-1 win over Georgia in the round of 16 and Spain's dramatic 2-1 win over Germany in extra time in the quarterfinals. In the Spain and Georgia matchup, it was easily the most electric match of the entire tournament. Spain played some great football and Georgia tried their best to stop a formidable opponent. Spain put up an incredible 35 total shots with 13 on target compared to Georgia's 4. It was a Spanish masterclass from start to finish, and even though Georgia went out, it was still a great game that I thoroughly enjoyed. And finally, we have the Spain and Germany matchup, which we all know was the true final at this tournament. It was a clash between 2 heavyweight sides that did not disappoint, and I truly enjoyed it. It was thrilling football between both sides from start to finish, and it didn't get much better than this. Florian Wirtz saved the day for Germany, only for Mikel Moreno to surprise everyone right before penalty kicks. A truly unforgettable game between 2 tournament favorites. I love this game, and it goes into the S tier. With these 2 matches easily being the most exciting games of this tournament, they both get the honor of going into the S tier today. After ranking all 51 matches at Euro 2024, this is what our finalized tier list looks like. 2 incredibly boring matches find themselves in the F tier. 7 subpar matches fit right into the D tier. 24 solid matches sit comfortably in the C tier. 12 great matches find themselves near the top in the B tier. 4 very entertaining matches almost made the cut in the A tier. And 2 truly mesmerizing matches take the final spots in the S tier. This is my final ranking of every match at Euro 2024, a tournament that kept me on the edge of my seat from start to finish, and one that I will truly never forget. But what did you think of Euro 2024? And more importantly, what do you think of my ranking of all the matches at the tournament? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know which of these 51 matches were your favorite. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more football content, tier lists, and everything in between, and as always, I'll catch you next time.